Okay, so where we left off is here on this table. And to refresh your memory, we said that our degrees of freedom is 1 because we had 2 possibilities minus 1. Oops. And then we said that our chi-squared number was 3.6. Now, I would say that that 3.6 falls about right here. So I would say it is to the right of this line. So it's between 5 and 10%. So let's look at how you state this. So when reporting chi-square data, use the following formula sentence. So with blank degrees of freedom, my chi-square value is blank, which gives me a p-value between blank and blank percent. Therefore, I blank my null hypothesis. So if you look back again, we're between 5 and 10%, because these are decimal versions of percent. And I would say it's leaning towards the reject. So I would say reject. With 1 degree of freedom, my chi-square value is 3.6, which gives me a p-value between 10 and 5%. I therefore reject my null hypothesis. So this sentence itself will actually go into the results section of your lab. And then your explanation of it will go in the discussion section of the lab. The calculations itself will go in the procedure because obviously that's part of your procedure. So again, here is the table, and I don't know why I put it in there again. But what will happen is we'll look up that statistic on the chi-square distribution table, and the p-value is read off the table, and it places our chi-square number of 3.6 close to 5%. And this means that 5% of the time when our observed data is this close, this deviation is due to random chance. So we will reject our null hypothesis. Now, if we reject our null hypothesis, that means there is something taking place other than a non-random event. So question, what is the critical value at which we would reject the null hypothesis? The answer is 3.84, because if you look at the table, 3.84 is the 5%. Then let's hypothetically look at this. If the chi-square value was 8 with 4 degrees of freedom, do we accept or reject the null hypothesis? So if you go back, and you could look at this without doing that, 4 degrees of freedom, and what did we say? It was 8 point something. I can't remember. Would you accept or reject? And the answer is that you would accept, because the critical value is greater than 9.48 with 4 degrees of freedom. And that is the end. You will do this for your lab data, and we will talk more about it tomorrow.